extremely towards the back. Please come forward a little bit. Come forward, come forward, come forward. Yeah, move forward very quickly. I'm still seeing people sitting at the back. What's going on here? Let's move forward. Hello. Please, protocol, please get to the front. The fourth our national anthem. Are we ready? Are we ready? Help our youth the truth to see. Great lofty heights attain to build on our reign. So we move on to our dear school anthem. This is how it time. We do not have it all the time, so we cherish every moment and live it over time. Invented by the Creator to make us co-creator tech. This is to the world, making Africa a pool of tech talents. Please put your hands together for yourself as you take your seat.
You can do better. You can be clapping so loud. How about you? Some energy over there, please. Thank you. Thank you. Do you know why you are clapping? Thank you. President, once upon a time, President of America. The limitation, you should celebrate yourself. Yes, tomorrow is better and brighter. Tomorrow is better and brighter. I want you to look at the person sitting beside you, give them a warm smile, exchange pleasantry, welcome them to this event. This is the 5th edition in the year 2024, and it is not going to be short of excellence too. Thank you very kindly. I welcome everybody from all water campuses and the essential people, distinguished ladies and gentlemen that are seated here, and above all, our early arrival, the president of SQI College of ICT, can we jam our hand? I welcome you once again to MindTalk, May edition. We call it May Day. But so far, all right, it is dubbed. What's the topic? What? Designing your life. So powerful, so powerful. While we are with the presence of the arrival of, our guest speaker for today, I want you to ready your jotting material. Yes, that's it, that's it, that's it. So thank you. MindTalk, see that great people like you can be lagging in the working world. Somebody do like this. Actor, they are coming down. So above every other thing, we have organized MindTalk, and we've been doing it for years to cater anywhere they find themselves to work. Is that okay now? Now I want you to put your hands together for the organizers of MindTalk. Beginning of the year, very, very potent. There's MindTalk Book Club. I don't know whether you have joined. It is essential for everybody that, we read a book. Eat that frog. So, together. People goes boy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's give Prof a round of applause. Good morning of the book review for the month of May. Now, the book we're reading for Brand Tracy shares a lot of things a lot of ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time. Procrastinating is a term that is not strange to many of us here. In fact, as I'm speaking, I'm sure that many of us here have our to-do list for today and for the week. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah, we have a to-do list for, those of you that know where you are going anyway. So you must have a to-do list. Now, the problem is, I was sharing with a friend recently. I told them that there's so much to do, but so little time. That's the honest truth. But the honest truth is all we have with us is 24 hours. Nobody has more than 24 hours per day. Now, what separates successful people from the other type of people who are not, they're on the other side, is the way they manage their time. Is the way, they taking care of the most important task of the day. And that's why, the title is a very funny one. Eat that frog. It's a metaphor anyway. I was just sharing with someone this morning. If you eat a live frog, not a frog that is dead, or cooked, a live frog, it is unpleasant, it's difficult, it's not a nice thing. But if you do that, if you wake up in the morning and that's the first thing you do in the morning, just know that there's nothing worse that can happen to you that day again. Because you've already taken care of the most challenging one for that day. So that's what this book, helps us to understand. And there are 4 key skills that will get sharpened. Even if you don't have those skills, you can, those skills can, come alive in you. If you have them, get sharpened. Number 1 is your time management skills. Can you say after me, time management? Decision-making skills, your discipline, and your level of determination. If you've always been struggling to find motivation, in this book you get all the motivation that you need to get your task done. And what kind of task? It's not enough to just do any task. It's doing the important task. The one that is very important, the ones that's high up on your high priority list. The greatest disservice you can do to yourself as a career person, as a tech enthusiast, is doing effectively what you ought not to have done in the first place. Do you understand what? So there are so many interesting insights in this book that you will love to read and understand. This Friday, we'll be reviewing this book, sharing insights, sharing opinions, and you know us want to be successful here. So that guy's not raising up his hand. We all want to be successful. And one of the ways we can achieve that goal is 8 p.m. That's right? 8 p.m. every Friday. The link, the details, everything will be sent to our community groups. Please do well to join, and I'm sure we'll have a wonderful time. Thank you.
If you are joining from online, drop your emoji, and I want you to tell us where you are joining from. I'm joining from Kenya, from Australia, from the UK, the Canada, the US. Can we celebrate ourselves, please, to the main business of the day? But I don't love this energy. I don't love this energy. Put a smile, And I want to teach you something now that I think will lighten you up. 1, 2, let's go. Pa, 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 pa. It's not pa, pa, pa. Pa, 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 pa. Let's go. Pa, pa, pa. Enthusiastic. I am alive a lot awake. I am alive a lot awake. I am alive. 1, 2, 3, go. I am alive a lot awake, enthusiastic. I am alive a lot awake, enthusiastic. I am alive a lot awake. I am alive. I am alive a lot awake, enthusiastic. 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 I'm alive a lot of week, I'm alive a lot of week, I'm alive a lot of week, enthusiastic. Come and celebrate yourself. But if the tip of their nose is not sweating, all right, come and celebrate yourself one more time. We have a very, very big guest speaker who is gracing our event for the second time today. Can we jam our hands together? And to not mince words, the pleasure of listening to his bio as it will be displayed on the screen. Thank you very kindly.
Visual creativity and technology in underserved communities.
of the world. What can you see? You see, a lot of those things, it's not because I've been here since part of the bio, things you, like our friend Tunde, that was said. Please show me excitement. Excitement. Awesome. I usually say that when you meet a group of young people, you either have opportunity for growth, that's increase, or you have opportunity for increase. You are on the right path. So I cannot wait to see what you all become. And I've come this morning to just designing your life. Sometimes I introduce myself as a designer, but the word designer doesn't really capture who I am, except you say something like life designer. You are getting close. But if you just say graphics designer, no. Like, yes, I do graphics design, but it's just, they will say that somebody has 5 talents, another person has 3, another person has 1. I used to see my responsibility. That's how that parable goes, that you have 5 talents. They will demand, you have to be able to produce more results, all right? So this morning, we're going to run through this very quickly. Intentionality, designing your life. Designing your life. There is hardly anything that you can do well without design, right? There is hardly anything that you can do well without design. If you decide that you don't want to follow the design to how you cook, eventually what you will do will not be food. I don't know what it will be. Not designed. This building you're sitting in that can carry us. This floor, let me not even say this building. This floor that you're sitting, the chair you're sitting on is designed. If it was not designed properly, you would not be able to. But if there was a plastic chair and you brought somebody that was weighing 300 pounds, you put it, no, it will break because that chair was not designed for him. It may be without design. The only thing is you need to understand what aspect of design to apply to whatever it is you're creating. All right? So let's move to the next slide. Let's walk through this a bit. I want you to say after me, I can live a fulfilled life. Yes, you can live. I don't know what type of life you desire as a person, as a student. I like sharing stories because these things are usually very, very personal to me. Life is personal to me. Fulfillment is personal to whatever it is I can fulfill. It's something that is so much more that I can tell you now that I am supposed to be doing. All right? Are you with me? So I don't know what your background may have looked like. I used to have a friend, he would always tell me how that he remembers those days when they grew up in the village. He would always refer, and I looked at him at that period, and I was seeing Akba traveling out. He's traveling out with a purpose. But when I saw that, I was so happy because I remember the days when he used to tell me, I remember those days in the village. I read for me. And remembering him now, I'm just realizing that it's actually true. You can achieve anything. Anything. You can. I want you to imagine the type of life that you feel is best for you. It is. Now we're staying on the subject of designing your life. Designing your life, right? How you can structure and design your life in such a way that you meet an expected end. Are we together? All right. So a few days ago, I was having it. You love your wife. You would understand, why I would always talk about my wife. All right. So because she's a very integral part of my life. Wherever I am now, she's part of the design. She's part of the design. If she's not there, a very missing piece. There will be a missing piece in the design. So I was just telling her how that I remember when I was in university, I had this experience where I had to work on a project with in my church, the leadership now. There was a project, an IT project we were working on a state level, right? So I had the opportunity of meeting people that had already gone ahead in life. I was the only student on that team. I didn't even know how I got there. One of the people on the team. He just said, that man is living a wonderful life. Oh. I said, tell me about it. You know, I knew his wife was a doctor. You know, her husband was not in the academic field. He was more of outside the academic field. So my friend was then telling me that this man is living. So I said, tell me about it. He said, he has his offices in his house. And from that office, he controls several banks. He doesn't leave his house by 4 a.m. in order to be able to get to work, right? I don't know how many of us understand that statement I just made. He doesn't get back home by 8 a.m. I mean 8 p.m., not 8 a.m. The reason this is particular is because of where I grew up, right? Where I grew up, that was meant to take 1 hour, may end up taking 3 hours. So you are guaranteed to be late. If you are 10 minutes, if you slack by 10 minutes, you are likely to be late. And when you are coming back, you're likely to get back late. So, but as I listened, because I was thinking, okay, after UI serve, maybe I'll go back to Lagos. But it was not really something I desired. Who had his office in his house, and but seeing that story challenged me a bit. Then remote work was not yet a thing, right? So this was still maybe 2014, 2013 period. But as soon as I just had a certain feeling that I wanted a life where it's interesting that it's happening now, right? Because I saw that I had a desire for a life where if I need to go somewhere and speak, I don't know if you want, let me say that again, because these things are very simple, but wisdom is very simple, right? So I heard about this man's life. He has his office in his house. It was a very strange thing then. He has his office in his house, but yet he's still living a very purposeful life. He's working with a life where I would give 16 valuable hours that I could use for something else. That if I don't even want to use the work, let me use it to sleep, rather than valuably use my time. Then I would want something like this so that if a time comes and I need to go and share knowledge at some point in my life, right? I told my wife that I'm just seeing that that's the life I'm living now. That I desired it, the things I need to do. I walk, I'm not lazy. Right? It's not disturbing anything. And then when I'm done, the reason I've shared this story with you is to give a real picture that you with me. If you are with me, shout energy. You can, what is the for my family? Have time. That's life. Literally, the wisdom you're looking for, you already have it. You don't just believe in it because wisdom is not complicated. So I'm just going to share a few tips. For some of you, it is going to be reminders. And walk with them. You're likely, not you're likely. You're going to find what I'm saying. You will live a life literally living purposefully as a professional. I want you to picture it. I don't want you to have a very flimsy idea in your mind that I want you to see it. I want you to see it in terms of a very purposeful life, right? What is that picture you have in mind? Keep it in mind. You're going, everything, like I said before, everything around you is designed. If it's not designed, it won't function. Say, this is fun. It's not fun. It was not designed as a fan. Are you with me? Are you with me? An air conditioner is designed as an air conditioner. It's meant to work as an air conditioner. All right, so but you as a person, how do you come to a place where you design your life to meet an end goal? Next slide. So number one, decide. Say it again. I want to hear those at the back. Again. Again. So the first point I'm bringing to you is decide your pursuit. To God's glory, I work now as a visual creative, much more than that, but funny enough, so here's the thing. The reason we are doing this is not because we want to just take time. We've had conversations. He has come to my place, and I know. Did you get that? We are not having mind talk, and I'm going to share something because it can make an impact in your life. For instance, some of us know that we have made negative tendencies when I was growing up, and because I was also very intelligent. That I'm not seeing anything to do. I'm not so less of the audience here, but we used to say first and best. That's from the University of Ibadan. But I don't know how many of us. Somebody is raising his hand. Okay, I too. Also Ibadan. But at some point, telling me, oh, yeah, go and do your masters in elect. I said, I know that you have my best interest at heart. I know. I'm not arguing down. I have in my mind for what I'm supposed to be doing. That there is a picture in my mind for what I want, for how I want my life. Very wise with your decisions. I was just thinking that, I'm very good. I don't have issues with brain work. That one fixed. But funny enough, while that was happening, I was also very creative. If he decides now that he wants to be an artist, he will be an artist. If he says he wants to be this story. I don't know artists that are making money. Then the artists that I don't want to mention them in case there's anybody that is being so, but you will hear, sorry, there's nobody's name here that should be abusing. But you know all those girls, you will just see Adex Arts. That I want something that will give me money. That was the mind. So I said, okay, I will go on to do. But eventually I saw that suddenly I don't know, I can't remember her name. Is it Wumi something? College of Tech. And yesterday I saw, why am I saying this? You will hear that she got a grant of, so she's doing something amazing. When I get to the front, I will be okay. But it is or thereabout. I said, this is not the life I want. And I decided when I made that decision. I'm seeing people that have so much time ahead of them, where you can say, I have an interest in this, or a certain course to designing your life so well at class. That is just a part of your story. Another part of your story you are not the first person to have a language challenge. That I cannot really speak English, so it's affecting me. Because everybody has different ways of assimilating things. Everybody has different way of assimilating maths. Maths the way I can. All of us, I remember, my goodness. For example, I think there was a maths question when I was still in secondary school in 100 level. 100 level. It's two instances. There was a maths question we were given in class to solve as an assignment. The answer. And a friend of mine just came and said, guy, you are a genius. Before I would have said no. But now if anybody tells me I've discovered one very interesting formula. But the reason I said that was I took a different to solve the problem. That's how I'm saying it. So it may be that you have not discovered your own way of assimilating things. Today can be, I'm taking time to break down this thing so that you can get me very well. You can do things so well. The way I myself design my life, I utilize my night a lot. Are you with me? So you may be somebody that is meant to be utilizing your night, but you are not doing so. Okay? So, but the first point I'm making is decide your pursuit. What is that very visual distinction? I'm not sure. Imagine yourself, I'm a softness in Nigeria. Do you want my own house by 4, by 5? Talk, and go back. Of what is your painted picture? Are you with me? Be it pick to travel. Where are you traveling to? Ilorin. But if you have Ibadan in mind, you can say, okay, I'm going to Ibadan. As soon as you step out of the gate, you are going left. Now you have made a decision to have a change of life, to begin designing your life. You have created a picture in your mind of the destination you seek. What kind of say energy? Yes, I want your energy. We are in blue lights. Have this, have that, have 3 screens. You will get it. Set that picture in mind, and then the next thing is, what is the process to get in here? None of these things are achievable. That one is even small. I'm just using it. You said what? You have speakers. You already have a picture in your mind. MacBook Pro, not just right. But after you have done all that process, yes, you may have all that picture, but all you have is your the tools I need. I want to have one by the side. So I'm not telling my clients, so not repeat. What's the meaning of this? I remember one time, then power comes. Next thing, so it's not. I didn't start with. I started with the hint. All times light will just go off. Battery self, I will swell up like this so that you know. How am I supposed to abroad? And they have to. Or have you been there before? I share laptop work for only 4 hours a day. Work for 4 hours. You can hear stories of people that work 4 hours a day. The remaining hours of the day is you design your process. How do I go from using 1 HP, from here? Very possible. There is, if you can, right? So, like I said, after you have decided your pursuit, what are you pursuing? And that may be yours, but that's not mine. Me, I don't like blue light. Expose yourself as much to nature as you to the sun's color of light as possible. That's my perspective. I like going outside. I don't know how many. So let me, if my time has gone, Can you hear me? Awesome. It's back. All right. So I'm enjoying myself. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Awesome. So time outside. Receive air. Natural breeze. Receive natural breeze. Inspiration from the clouds. Designers in the house, hear me. All right. This one, designers especially, it's not only design that they do. They know life. And they bring inspiration from life into design. So learn life. Right? Learn life. Okay, now, this laptop can only last. This is very important, please. I was serving in Katsina. Certain here. After I was done UI, I went to Katsina to serve. While I was serving in Katsina, where I was staying, Copper's Lodge in Damusa in Katsina. Damusa. I'm telling you so that you know that there are no excuses for this thing that I'm saying. You don't have excuse. It's one of the first things I have to establish. You don't have an excuse why you should be the best person in the room. If you enter a room, you will hear that there are some countries that when they enter a room, they know that they have entered. One of them is people from the US. The other one know that a Nigerian has entered. So for one person, it is comfort. The Americans, he knows that their security agencies, they don't play with them. They have back. Because you know all the fights you have fought to be where you are. So nobody can bring you down. You fought with beasts. You may not know how impactful these things is. To be driving on a road and the road is not good. It has become so normal. You don't realize how it affects creativity. But because you have been able to brave all those obstacles, there is nowhere you will go that he will not tell them. I remember I was reading a story of some Nigerian doctors that suddenly traveled abroad and were now practicing abroad. And suddenly somebody had malaria. And all the white doctors did not know what to do. Then the white doctors were just looking at them with amazement. They say you do not understand the amount of malaria that we have had to deal with before we came here. So that those challenges forged them. They say, see, no malaria. I say, malaria, excuse. Like I said, I was in Katsina for a whole year. For my service year, there was no power supply in my lodge. But I was growing. It's creative field. So I had a process I had designed and I started following it. I was reading. That was when I now finally found a friend of mine gave me Photoshop for the first time. I said, Photoshop, let's explore this thing. But what was I doing? How was I charging my laptop? When I came after orientation camp, I stepped into the local government. I said, wow, this is what we have come to meet. Several coppers, I know a copper that was crying that what is this? Where have they sent me to? But me, I said, no problem. We will come back after 2 weeks. I think they used to give them 2 weeks break. I bought a second one. Carried it along, packed books that were going to forge my creativity because I had a goal. I would not, it was because I was in NYC for a whole year and there was no power supply with my first. I didn't know I was going to share this story, but let me keep at it because it's going to help somebody. Bought a second battery with my first, carried it to Katsina. There was in that village, because it was actually a village, in that village there was one central charging point. It had this big diesel engine. So in the morning, starts the engine, people will bring their phones, come and charge. Not this our iPhone and but whatever phone they had, they will bring it and charge. But when that is happening, when I'm going to school to teach my PPA, I would take my laptop and the extra battery, drop it at his point. I taught him how to know when my battery is full, how to remove my laptop, disconnect the battery, put the new one and then charge. So that by the time I'm coming back from school, give him and take my laptop and go. And then the rest of the evening is now for me to do whatever it is I wanted to do. So when I came out of NYSC, despite the fact that it was Katsina, I did not come back dull. Are you with me? I didn't come back dull. It didn't take long. Few months after I got featured on CNN Africa, because I didn't even have a full picture. That's the thing. They say fortune favors the brave. That's a very common statement. I didn't even know how far I was going to go. But I knew that I did not want to be mediocre. So I had that picture in mind. I started working towards it. I was reading this book, reading that book, seeing how creative people. I just opened one free room. There was an empty room. All of us had our own empty room. I just opened it one day. I said, today we are having art exhibition. IITA to do some survey in the area. I went to their lodge, knocked on the door. So good. I did all that in my village. Remember that dare your path. After you've decided your pursuit, you have your picture, you've designed your process, get to work. Throw excuses aside, you are not disadvantaged. Say, I am not disadvantaged. I am not disadvantaged. You will say it and say it and say it until you believe it. Don't say as you did. You are not disadvantaged. You have to use anything you have to get what you're looking for. You will use your mouth. You don't have power. Go and talk to somebody. At some point in my life, that was me. After NYSC, I went to one of my sister's house because I know that at some point there will be constant power. I knew that at least, okay, they wanted me to do some things for them, and I agreed. So I knew that I had shelter, I had power, I had food. When they bring light, I will go and pump water. After pumping, switch it off. I will come back, fetch water, boil water, transfer it inside bottle, put inside fridge, so that when everybody wakes up, there's water to drink. If they take light, I will stand up, go and switch on the gen. Everybody sleeps comfortably. When they wake up in the morning, I'll take the children to school. They will go to work. And when they are done, I will go and pick the children from school, come back, stay with them. But while I was doing that, I was developing value. Value. So much more that when I had a project that when the person I was staying with heard it, they said, you are sitting down in the house and you now got a project that is 3 times my salary. 3 times. I just laughed. I said, what can I say now? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? Ask yourself, what do I have? Sit down and think, what do I have? I can talk. You can talk. Oh yeah, go and talk to somebody. Sir, I promise you, in 2 months' time, I know I'll be using your power in this place, but in 2 months' time, I will start paying you double of what you are charging other people. Just, I know that I don't, but I want to learn. I want to learn. Teach me this thing, teach me this. What do you have? Can you talk? Then talk. Please, dare your path. Whatever you have designed, start following it. Next slide. Discover your progress. Be able to get feedback. Feedback is something that is very valuable. You can't live without feedback. You can't live without. If I want to write down and I close my eyes and I'm doing check. I've checked. I know that at least I've crossed level 1 on my journey. It's still far. No, it's still far. The journey is still very far. All those ones you saw, UK, CNN, no. We've done like this. Maybe we have not yet done like this, but we've done like this. So it remains to learn and keep going. Are we together? So discover your process, ensure that your progress, ensure that at every point in time you're taking feedback to be sure Ikigai. Okay, let me just introduce us to Ikigai. It's a Japanese principle. I usually like some Japanese things. There's a way they've done a lot of studies. You remember that from the World Cup, they were the ones that once they finished supporting their team, they will start cleaning the stadium. There's a way of life that they have learnt. So they will clean the stadium. Everybody will wonder, now who are these people? Why are you people so wonderful? Japanese are like that. When they design buildings, they are way better than the Americans when it comes to design. There is a degree of accuracy they have when they do things. All right, so Ikigai, a possible career ideal. I'm just going to summarize because of time. Summarizing. This is an example of a well-designed career life, right? For instance, some of us are here. We know what we love doing. Some of us are here. We know some of the solutions that the world needs. It's not what we love doing to be paid for. Like what we can do to be paid. You know the things. It may not be something that you love. It may not be something that the world needs. Diagram. Some of us are here. You know what you are good at. Whether you love it or not, you just know that this thing, I will wash it well. But I do enjoy it too, but I will wash it well. Now, you can now move a bit further and find intersection. You are probably not good at it yet, but it has formed a mission for you. I love it. The world needs it. It has formed a mission. It has not really progressed beyond mission. It's just a mission. Or I love it. I'm good at it. The world needs it. I get paid for it. You are not yet so good at 3, 4, any of them. Or you can now merge all 4 into one. Paid for it. If you can design your life with that in mind, I want to warn you. You know when you are free, you are just walking, Carol, you are just this one is that you can be paid for. You will land here. This place is that place of missing out on payment. If you are missing out on payment, it will still pain you. No, you don't love it. You are good at it. At some point, you can become tired. You can become tired because, yes, you become frustrated. You are not really enjoying it. And on like that. You love it. The world can take your place. But if you can merge all 4 together.
Come on, can we be on our feet?
Next slide. Yes.
Yes, very, very important. Can we jam our hands together, please? Celebrate greatness. Thank you.
It's okay.
I was just soaking everything like sponge, and I believe that is what you were doing too. Thank you. That is just tip of an iceberg. Tap your neighbor, say tip of an iceberg. Something was resonating in my mind as the speaker was saying Katsina, in his former president, you know. All right, our people are joining. Thank you for your patience thus far. There's still one more part of it. Are you loving it already? Still checking their status. We're still checking their status. At the point, everybody was jotting. Can we celebrate that? 30 minutes for. And designers in the building. And everybody that has a good eye for, great. Simple and fine. Any other person, top point, excuse. Avoid reason. Instead of result. If you know score, go. You get what I'm happy now? When we score the first goal, this guy will happen. Is that okay? So tell your neighbor, avoid reasons. So we are going for the second part of this event, and I want you to, be ready your mind, like I would say, of engaging our speaker of the day, in another form of panel discussion. And I want you to ready your mind. This is where you will have opportunity to be able to get everything that has been. People online, give me emoji, love emoji, some claps. You get that? So I want to bring for the second a standing ovation. Emi Aderinto.
Not have our seats. Ikagali. Do you to see if I'm a Tikiga or not?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for today.
Thank you, sir.
Want you to just signify wherever you are. You could send a note if you want to, but you saying out your question will be much more preferable, okay? It will be much more appreciated. They are part of the things we try to build here. For example, you are good at something, you
Yes,
cannot speak it. You cannot tell
Yes.
people. Nobody knows about it. You get
Yes.
frustrated.
Yes,
all right?
sir.
They go to people that doesn't know as much as you do.
Bec-
Pick out your tools, make it a picture in your mind.
Okay.
You pick out tools, and then,
All right. Okay. I can.
yes, sir.
All right. So realize this: if you're given an opportunity to talk, no matter how much you say, I can tell you yes. That challenges at that your decision. Are we? Someone said that. I'm so glad I remember this. It's a quote that when I heard this for the first time, it was very zooming into your everyday life. If you look at life on a daily basis and look at your life over in for effects,
say that
yes, let me. Is likely to look like. For instance, when you look at a chart in detail, you see the up and down, up and down, up. And I feel like that's the nature of what we're still talking about. That yes, actually, it's as straightforward as that. But in more detail, you will now see a lot of the challenges. Because I shared personal stories to show you some of the challenges I had that I had to look for. It was not easy for me as a 20-something-year-old person to go and sit down in my sister's house. I was a graduate that time. I'd finished NYSC. Everybody knew me as a promising person.
Not looking promising at that
But I
time.
was not looking promising. Everybody knew that. Go on, time. And there's so much I can say because I believe that we thrive on connections. There is no how you will do this thing without help. That's why I said there's so much activities that somehow provide buffers for us.
Sing. We cannot do it all alone.
So it's as simple as that. I can give you practical instances of helps that I got along the way. That I had to just lower my own head and say, you are going somewhere. For a whole year, I was contributing my little to the place I was staying, but I knew that it was a blessing for me that I came, and the first thing I was thinking, everybody, pull.
When you were talking,
Yes,
you
sir.
said, know what you have.
Yes.
I want to believe you have. So I added to it
Yes, sir.
that know who.
You have.
Know who you big person. But what can the people around me provide? Know who. Vision that favors you.
You.
I believe it's because Africa does not know what. We have crude oil, but we
Yes.
never knew we have something. Your sister,
Yes.
as who you are,
Yes.
you mentioned some very critical things.
Yes, sir.
Feeding off,
Yes.
shelter. I don't want to be someone that will be useless there, that you will
Yes.
be feeling threatened,
Yes.
that they might send me away tomorrow.
Yes.
So you made yourself valuable.
Valuable. Yes, sir.
You were not useless.
Yes, sir.
You can't afford to be useless. Around with my car one time, I had been busy for 2 weeks, extremely busy. Shut down at night, early in the morning, I had to get, and he said, if he can get something, like some cash, maybe
Yes.
1,000 or 2.
Yes.
So I was, your car is too dirty, sir. I can wash it right here on this spot. I will love that. I will look at you,
Yes.
and we can strike a deal.
Yes.
Like, you don't need a location to wash. I have so many other people that need it. Maybe every day. That's a step.
Yes.
You can use the collection of those money to now go to the next step. Process.
Yes, sir.
You are climbing the steps, sir.
Yes,
you
sir.
were saying something, or let me say you said something
Yes,
while
sir.
speaking that. You had a picture
Yes, sir.
of where you want to be.
I was in Lagos.
Estate.
Yes.
And Lagos is where things are happening.
Yes. People.
I left.
Yes, sir.
The second time was in 2008. There will be pressure.
Yes, sir.
Lagos is where things are. If you are not in Lagos, you are
You are not anywhere.
Vibes. How do you overcome those pressures?
Yes, sir.
Because it's the same pressure that comes to people if you choose to go for a course or that's it. But there are pressure of mothers that will say,
Yes.
what will I tell my friends?
Yes.
I want to be able to tell my friends that you are in so university.
Yes.
I want to be able to tell my friends.
Yes.
And that's really, some children couldn't overcome that.
Yes, sir.
Some were able to do it.
Yes, sir.
And eventually after 2-3 years, they were like, Thank God we allow you to do it. Mommy, you did not allow me. It's me that.
I forced my way.
Yeah. How were you able to overcome those
Awesome.
obstacles?
Wonderful, wonderful question. So, one of the things I want to share is the importance of seeing life long term as a marathon. If you see life as being a marathon or long term, you can be willing to take 3 steps back.
You won't mind.
You won't mind because you know that there is time to still catch up. You can be willing to take 3 steps back so that you can. It's like catapult. You cannot just shoot catapult. What do? You pull it back. And then that's how you do it. So truthfully, 2 ways. One, I think I had parents that, so I had that privilege. I had parents that had left me to make some decisions by myself. They asked questions, they did this and did that, but I still had pressures. Not just, oh my goodness. I had days that even me, I was pressuring myself. That what exactly am I? What am I doing? But the goal was bigger than the pressure. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
The goal I had in mind, I knew that because at some point, when somebody asked, I remember that I would travel, somebody will ask, what do you do? And you don't really know how to answer. But you know that you're doing, there are some things that I will still come back to my own story. There are some things that people do, but you cannot fully, for instance, if somebody does blockchain or software development, there are some people that when they ask you, what do, you don't really know how to explain it to them. Does that make sense? You don't really know what to say, but you know that you are on a path that you have seen clearly. And that's how I was able to manage pressure. For instance, a friend, not a friend, but somebody I knew, traveled down to Ogbomoso. He is from Ogbomoso, but he lives in Lagos. He works in Lagos. He's okay. We knew ourselves in church, right? That's what I do, design. And he said, what are you doing design in Ogbomoso? Who are you servicing? Which clients do you have? That you can't do design in Ogbomoso, that there's nothing here. So I only listened to him partially. So pressures, I don't give pressures too much attention. What I do is I spend more time building myself. I know that in 3 years' time, don't let me go there. All right. So, but funny enough, while I was on this,
you are saying some comedy.
Yes, there's
you
something. I just said let me quickly come back because I saw something, but I said let me come back. Big travel to England. This one has traveled to Canada. This one has gone to you. What am I doing?
I think it starts from when you complete your secondary school.
Yes.
That question is, where are you now? Which school are you now?
Which school are you? Where are you studying?
That will be the common question. Yeah, serious pressure. And you cannot have any other meaningful thing aside that. As time goes on, if you are not careful, you start lying.
I realize that these are not the most important things in life first. You are able to embrace your journey and knowing that in few years' time, we will meet ourselves in front. That's a friend of mine passed through. He was not saying it from a bad place, but he passed through town. And he said, this is where, embrace your journey and don't be ashamed of it because you can see an end. But when we started, it does not matter again.
Hey.
So if you see me on Twitter, I proudly put, I love Ogbomoso. Tweeting from Ogbomoso. That yesterday I still did something like day before yesterday or yesterday. I seen that, you knew what journey you were on. So if I can give you one advice, if you know the journey you are on, no matter the pressures, embrace that journey. Hold it dear to your heart with the mind that in a few years' time, it will speak.
Can you appreciate that? You may say, give me
time.
Give me time.
Give me time.
Which school are you? Please mind you. We are only using Ogumosho as an example.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I should not pressure you to be where I am. Our journey dreams are different.
Very different.
It's your journey, it's your location. So there are people that insist that it is Lagos till today. And somehow, I'm just surprised that it is UK. You see that money is there. Why are you asking for help? For someone, you get what I'm talking about. Now, I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes, sir. He calls himself the Igbo, but Dusi Oyekon.
Dusin Oyekan.
Yes, sir.
You see him anytime, anywhere in the world.
Yes, sir.
Play violin for his music.
Yes.
I knew that he always goes for the best.
Excellence. Yes, sir.
Best designer. Here.
Yes, sir.
How did that happen?
I was here. I was here. I remember the first call we had. As we talked, how did this happen? Let me share the journey because, and again, yours might be slightly different, sir. I need to acknowledge that. You say one of the things that you teach here is how can you articulate your ideas. I was so happy when you said that because if I have the privilege of teaching people design, how to talk, how to listen, there are about 3 or 4 things. So hearing you say that, I said yes, right? So yes, the journey. I'm going to start at the very, here is grace. Yes, we know that is grace, but please tell us how you got here. So I remember that in some illustrations because my design tentacles are very well spread. So today I can be doing illustration, tomorrow I'm doing motion. But in 2016, I was making illustrations and someone, I think there was a particular trend on Twitter then, that same 2016. Someone just said, artist, post your work. So normally, I'm somebody that, okay, don't let me go there. I posted my work, right? And as someone saw it, say, you make art? I said, yes. There are some parts of this story I cannot tell because of the nature of them. I'll be able to say freely, but I think I'll still tell you enough. So someone saw it, said, you make this, you do art? I said, yes, I do art. The person said, interesting. That was the end of the conversation. Interesting, stopped. So they had seen my work. I can say this because I'm going to say this freely because the founder of Airbnb did the same thing. He was having an interview and they were giving me a bit of direction and things became better. So I will use that one to give myself leverage to say that I now had a dream, right? So one morning I had a dream, several dreams. When that happened, I reached out to the person. That CEO, I decided to go out on a limb, like anything that wants to happen, let it happen. If you want to ignore me, ignore me. If you want to give me audience, give me audience. So I reached out to this person. Thank God for technology. The person, it looked like we were working together or something. So, but I had that dream, reached out to her, mentioned to her, after everything, it was very interesting. We started having conversations, right? There was one of my writing projects, that's my salvation story, the one that was featured on Y Ninja, that I also shared with her, I think. But when I shared the dream, it became more intense. That was our first connection point, right? So, like he said, if you know your person doesn't have to be Buhari. I used to say your destined helpers, when we say destined helpers, we think of big, they look like someone that needs help from you, but they may end up being your destined helper. So let me continue. Eventually, we started conversations, and at some point, I started working with her. So she would come, say, okay, I want to design brochure for a brand. Can you do it? I could do it. I was ready. And she was patient. So if there was something she wanted me to adjust, she would just make sure. But I was ready. I'd already been grooming. I'd been learning a lot. That period of staying and serving under my sister, I was learning a lot. I was always taking courses, doing things, right? That was my first big money project in a way because, I did full branding. So I did that. Now, know your person, know who you have. Because I did not get here because of my portfolio. I have portfolio, but a lot of times you don't see me sharing my portfolio. You see that I led to LinkedIn. I didn't lead to my portfolio, right? So, but did this work for her, did that work for her. She was seeing my excellence.
Consistent.
Yes. Because there was hardly any work that you will bring to me that is designed that I would not do well. There was hardly. Maybe yours is product design, it's fine, stay there. But my own was not product. My own was almost everything. It's why I used to call myself a creative adventurer. I venture into, I learn it and I do it well. So, did work for her. Eventually, a friend of hers, it's a friend, but a big friend of hers, was telling her the issues she was having with a brand she was working with.
Okay.
So the friend was trying to do branding. People were doing it for her, but they could not capture what she was looking for. So it's why I say that, for instance, as a designer, the first thing you are learning is not Photoshop. It's not Photoshop. It's why I was happy when you said that. You teach people how to articulate, how to talk, how to listen. How to listen. So, how to act. So this friend, because this, you must hear this story. That's how it goes until you now get to the one that will now trend. So, this friend of hers said that she's been trying to do this branding, but they are not capturing her mind. They are still trying to make it luxurious, big woman, this and that. Yeah, she's a big woman, but that's not what she was looking for. So, but my friend was also very careful because she didn't want to see that like somebody that was selfish to bring the work to us. At that point, I think I had now moved from working with her to becoming co-founder. With her. So we became partners in business, right? So she could just get a project, you just handle the design, give it to me, and then I will take care of everything. So eventually, this friend of hers was now looking for who could take the work from these people. Then she mentioned that she knows somebody.
She knows somebody.
All that we did was have a conversation. The woman just called. 3 of us were on the call. Hi, this is what I'm trying to do. And because of years of patient practice, I just talked. And she said, yes, this is somebody that gets me, that I've been trying to communicate these things and he gets me. From just talking few minutes. I didn't show her my work. But I just said, okay, this is your name. Okay, this, that. Few minutes, that's how they gave me the work. And I did it well. So he now got on a call with me and the 2 people. That's myself, him, the woman, and that same my partner. And we had a call. The first work I was to do for him was not an album, it was a single, Let the Army Roar. So I saw the lyrics. Maybe I saw the lyrics, but I didn't hear the song. They didn't give me the song. But because, I started from the fact that I was making illustrations. I was already making illustrations in this field. I was making illustrations using Bible verses. So I would take a Bible verse and I will make an illustration. That was how I got it.
You were just doing it.
I was just doing it.
You were just doing it.
Just doing it.
You were just doing
exactly.
it. Then somebody showed up.
Just doing it. That's it. I was not looking for money. I was not, in fact, I was just doing it. Came to me, I said, don't joke. Because came. He too just called. As we were talking, they just gave verse. And I said, sir, so much that, like I said, the first thing for me as a designer is don't learn Photoshop. Then my Photoshop skills were not even that strong. I could use Illustrator very well. I could use what I did for him. He did it. I submitted it. They said, no, you are the one that we are asking to do the day. Like a resonance. This person, we can resonate with him. He gets it. That was how it started. So from that time, they may be doing other designs with other people. Sometimes you can be busy because I'm a very family person. So I spend time a lot with my children, my wife, this thing done. And that was how it started. They didn't look at my portfolio website, nothing.
You do it. I think that's powerful.
Yes, sir.
It does not matter if you have a cover which much more deeper than Ogomosho. There is light here now. What are you doing? One day someone will ask for that.
Yes.
Sir, thank you so much.
Thank you. you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Do we have 1, 2, 3? Good. Oh yeah, come quickly.
Okay.
Please come. Just come. Make it fast.
Making
yeah.
Africa a third continent.
There are now 4.
Right.
Yes.
I want to develop my picture. Of my home picture.
Okay. So, picture. So your question is, which of the pictures should you go for? Let me just say it like that. And it's out of love for you. A lot of times when parents do that, are in line with the vision they have for you. So it's not like it's not out of love, it's out of love. I want to quickly establish that. But sorry to say this, I had a friend. He wanted to be a civil engineer. Was very intelligent. He is very intelligent. Very intelligent. So he said he studied medicine. Because he would, but as he was studying the medicine, he was doing well. In his most quiet moments, he would have actually wanted to study civil engineering. I wanted to study civil engineering. And it would look as if he's sad. I wanted to study civil engineering. I wanted to study civil engineering, but they say, what do we want to do with civil engineering? Be a doctor. Let us know that you are a doctor. He would come back and, civil engineering is actually what I want to do. Some people have said, sorry, daddy, mommy, I know that I want my child to be doctor. I want my child to be lawyer. I want my child to be engineer, so that when they say daddy, because they've seen things. A child comes and says, I want to be footballer. Your parents will say, I get. Then, if you succeed, thank God. If you don't succeed, you know that you have. Even may have seen stories of some of the footballers that played for Nigeria before. Then there was no money in football. But now parents are now willingly saying that even you, my child, you must be a footballer because there is money now. Violinists. But now a parent is saying be a footballer, something that people wanted to be before, and they didn't allow. So some may say, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, ma. I know that you have my best interest at heart, but if I do this thing, you will come and carry me from. You know that for some, I'm going to give you different instances, right? Because it cannot be the same for everybody. Some will just say, I know that if I don't go this my path, there is wisdom in some of the things. I will not use my mouth to speak negatively of my parents because I've tasted the sacrifice. A bit of the sacrifice. You have my best interest at heart. I'm hearing somebody playing Dusin Oyeko. Please. It's interesting. All right. So I know that you have my best interest at heart, but this stand, but give me 4 years. Need it even in the future. You will marry, you are seeing something, but you have a wife and you have children. People are very important on our journeys. You should, that ability to speak, I value. But please, right, let me go on this journey. Please. Some other people say, I've gotten the degree, ma. So this one is safe. Let me now try my own. If it works, we celebrate together. If it does not work, the backup is there. There are different approaches to it. Tunde Onokoya and Sin, I think that's his name, Onokoya. I did because they wanted him to become a medical doctor. He too, that was what he was trying to be. But eventually it wasn't working out. His dad said, I didn't support him, but now seeing all that has happened, his dad was literally dancing when he saw him after. It was his best interest he was seeking. So there are different approaches. For some, you may say, I will do your own. Shebi is 3 years, it's 4 years. I will pay the price. I will do yours, I will come back. It has to speak. Because you will see that your parents still love you. You will see that they will still support you. There are different approaches. You can still be doing what they want. Worked at IBM. He worked at IBM, worked at Twitter. After working for many years, he said, it's like, Twitter is going in a different direction. I can step down now.
And you washing plates
exactly. Exactly. I mentioned that my parents came to a place, they trusted me with my decisions because they had seen that this one
Do
has
they
been
have to
making good
wake you
decision.
up?
It's easy for them. It was very easy for my own parents. They just said, let me leave him to himself and all that.
So
Yes.
that's it. Let's appreciate that response. So we'll make others so cool.
Yeah, good day, everyone.
Good day.
Well, my great mentor.
A question.
Yeah,
That's
question.
a request.
Yeah,
Question
and then my question is to.
Okay.
How can I
If
do
that's
it?
the request, no problem. That's straightforward. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Thank you for the teaching, sir. I actually consume a lot around and I don't give the pressure attention.
Okay.
Okay. So my question is, what advice can you say or what can you say to someone who actually wants to pick a part? Let's say software engineering now, you want to be part of other people to make a whole. That person wants to be perfect in that one thing. Let's say I want to be perfect in React now. Like I want to know React so well. But then I need the back-end developers. I need to learn other frameworks. I need to understand how it works. And then I just want to be perfect in that place. So
Okay.
what advice can you give to that kind of a person in pursuing? What other stack do you know how to do? What do you know how to do? Just React? I know. You should learn this, you should learn that, you should do this, you should do that. So what can you say to that kind of a person?
Okay. So I'm going to, event is based on what I would call principles. Then also, I think you know a bit of, you know more on the tech. Okay. So because, example, you see that there's a part that says what you are good at. There's a part that says the what you love part. For full balance, for a balanced life, I want to summarize. You are not isolated. Whatever you do must always bring people into perspective. There's sometimes, again, I don't know how React, all these things work together. But if, for instance, you realize that knowing React alone is not going to be very useful for you, then purpose. Your purpose has to involve serving people. If your purpose is not of service to anybody, that purpose is not correct. It's not just my purpose. It's not really the purpose. The same way, if you find out that learning React will not make you fully useful, again, I cannot say because it's software, but whatever it is you are, no matter what you do, you're doing, you need, so if what you want to know, and I strive for mastery. I usually, let me try and close now. I usually try and say, start generally. Exactly, that's the problem. If it doesn't attach the other things, if it's just a case of people just saying, how can you know only React? How can you know only React? If that's all it is, it may not really matter that much. Again, that's what it is, no wahala. That usefulness is very big for me, but I don't know the technicalities.
Pressurizing you
Yes, sir.
for other things, like you know Photoshop.
Yes.
Yeah, is it only Photoshop? What about Illustrator?
What about XD,
That's
Figma?
the perfect.
Yes.
Okay, you want front end, add back end to it. If you ask why, let you know. Most of the time in an organization, I know one day you will desire that.
Yes.
You desire to go higher. So bring in things that will make you go further.
Yes.
So you may want to ask for the reason. Why are you telling?
Exactly.
Then you continue
That's
with it.
perfect.
Yes.
That's perfect. That's
All
perfect.
right. So this final one.
So I'll be asking two questions actually.
Okay.
The first question is about
Okay.
in certain circumstances. I know you meet different kind of people. They ask, "What do you do?"
Yes.
You want to say things that will actually let them see what they should know about you.
Yes.
How do you go about that?
Yes.
And what kind of perception do you try to push out in pitching?
Okay.
So secondly, simplicity, real.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I will try to make this simple. And so, like I said, and like you've said again or emphasized, I often describe myself as a creative adventurer because I do many of the person I'm speaking with. So if somebody comes to me, they are looking for a designer, I am a designer. I have served as a writer on projects before because I write. So somebody comes, I'm looking for a writer, and I realize it's coordinated a project, Nigeria at 60. It was a writing project. I was coordinating the project and managing the projects. I wrote a bit, but most of my work was coordination. That was not a designer's work, right? But I was able to transfer knowledge in applying that. So when it comes to, you understand, be able to meet people. Somebody is looking for a designer, you are interested in what they are doing, you want to be a part of what they are doing, you are a designer. Tomorrow, I'm an artist. Next tomorrow, I've worked on products before. In that instance, I'm a product designer. Worked on websites. In that instance, I'm everything. Depending on the nature of, there are some people that have presented myself as everything to them. I can take care of times they don't look for people that specialize. If a startup is looking for a designer, some startups that don't yet have the resources to, so when they're looking for a designer, they're looking for a designer team and all that. So that's how I really present myself when it comes to meeting people at their place. I don't think it's so much of an identity. I have not experienced that for everything I do. So if important, in my core self, I am a creative adventurer. But when it comes to relating with people, I can now be many things. Somebody say, I'm a Jew. I mean, to the Jews, capturing and all that. But you know your core. Today, they want to put him in prison. He said, don't you know that I'm a Roman? He pulled out the Roman card. He said, I'm a Roman. You don't. My identity is well defined. I'm a creative adventurer. Today, I serve as a design consultant. But today, I'm a speaker. So, today, I'm a speaker. So that's how it is. Once I get back, tomorrow I become that call. Tomorrow, I'm a child creativity advocate. That's, I speak about children a lot. Children and creativity. I don't play with it. That was umbrella. I coined that one by myself. Tomorrow, I'm doing music. I'm a music person too. So I cannot ignore those things because they are connected under that creative adventurer umbrella. So that's how it is for me. But when it comes to servicing people, I can now be pulling out which one works for them. The second question, simplicity and excellence. Let me do this because of time. Find excellence. Excellence for me is going above and beyond with what you have. That's how I describe excellence. Because excellence for a 2-year-old and excellence for a 10-year-old are different. Excellence for somebody that has 2 mites and excellence for somebody that has millions, they are different. Let me try to answer, even if I'm still trying to understand. Maybe from the designer perspective now, let me try to answer. Because a lot of times you realize that as people grow, they tend to do less, tend to become less excited. I don't know if that's the best way to put it. For instance, somebody can look at my slide now. Put one circle there and all that, because I feel like to a degree I've grown in mastering the use of slide. A lot of times when I see people doing presentation, I feel somehow, if I'm seeing heading and presentation, the nature of my presentation today, I knew that I don't need many points. All I need is something to remind me of what I have to say. The focus of the presentation today has to be in simplicity. Purpose determines these things. Somebody else can be a master, but he knows how to be a master of putting many things together to get a goal. So meant to fulfill at the end of the day. Your question is something I'm still trying to understand, but I'm hopeful that I've been able to respond to it in a certain way. That's the thing. So, have I been able to answer that? Okay, I hope I've been able to answer that to an extent, yes. But it's a full talk on its own, not 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, that will be the end of the panel session.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
They said there's a way your name can influence the way you behave in life. Can we say his name again? Mr. Michael Light. Has he brought light to kindly? Celebrate yourself, please. Celebrate yourself.
time. All right, so very, very quickly, I'd like to just Dugbe, joining us from Iwo Road, joining us from where again? Challenge, joining us from Oshogbo. So if you are just hearing this for the first time, we missed out Abeokuta. Telling you that we have campuses available in all of these locations. So you might have a family member that is in Oshogbo currently, and the family member. Right. So the second thing is about the price review. So due to the current situation in Nigeria, SQI College of ICT is going to be having a price review for all the courses very, very soon. It will be the same price that we were paying before. So if you want to pay the same price that you were paying before, this is a good time to do so. In the house, do we have any NID students in the house? Let me see your hands. Are you not proud of your program? So these are special. Can come here to SQI College of ICT and study for a period of 2 years, and you gain an ND degree. And that means you can use that degree to further into the university. After learning artificial intelligence, right? You can leave here with those skills, get into the university with it from 200 level, and then get your degree. So exactly what the speaker said today, you can combine both together. One of the best ways to do that is through NID program. New intakes, the matriculation is there. You can come around. There will most likely be menu, but in case you did not find it, I'm not the one that said it. Pretend as if you did not hear me say it. We're going to be having a lot of dignitaries around. We're inviting the Royal Father, the Shonwu of Ogbomosho, which is next month. Please ensure that you're around. So thank you very much for coming around to the May edition. Did we enjoy? So on this note, we're going to be saying thank you very much for coming around. Thank you, audience. Thank you to all in charge of ensuring that all the campuses can take this. And till the next edition of MindTalk, thank you so much. Classes resume immediately after this. Bye-bye.